Hi there, my name is Ian, and I'm going to give you a demonstration of Microsoft's latest browser, Internet Explorer 8. That's in beta at the moment. And I'm also going to show you Firefox 3, and I'm going to try to convince you to switch from Internet Explorer over to Firefox. Now, a quick plea for users of Internet Explorer 6. For those of you out there using IE6, please upgrade to a more modern version of your browser. You're using technology that's at least 7 years old. This is an absolute age in internet terms. You're holding back the development of the web because web developers have to support your old technology. Please do upgrade to something like Internet Explorer 7, which is the most common form of Internet Explorer on the web, or preferably to an open browser like Firefox 3. So let's take a look at the two browsers. Here in IE8, we've got the main browsing area, a tab, the search bar, and the URL bar. If we switch over to Firefox, we've got the same thing. If you've been using Internet Explorer 6, you may not know about tabbed browsing. I could right-click and do New Tab. I'll use also Control-T, which is the shortcut. This gives me a new tab. Rather than having multiple browser windows cluttering up the desktop, we can have multiple tabs inside the same Internet Explorer instance. I'm going to use Control-E to jump to the search bar up here, and I'm going to search for BBC News, and then go to the BBC News front page. I'll switch over to Firefox, Control-T, Control-K in this case, BBC News, and then go to the result as well. And if we switch back and forth between the two, we'll see that the BBC News website is rendering just fine in the two browsers. It did used to be the case that years ago some websites didn't support Firefox so well, and every now and again you were forced to use Internet Explorer to access the website. Certainly that was the case with some banks. But that hasn't been the case for me in the last 2 years, and I'm very glad not to have been forced out of Firefox. Tabs are nice. If I've got one, I can use Control-Tab to switch between them, and I can drag them around, and I can do this in both IE8 and inside Firefox. There is one nice thing in Firefox which Internet Explorer doesn't have, and that's the Awesome bar. That's the name they've given to the advanced functionality they've added into the URL bar up here. I'm going to click through to this news story about the Olympics. Then Control-T to open a new tab, and I'm going to type BBC. The Awesome bar is telling me that I've been to the BBC News front page, and it sees BBC in the URL. And I've also been to this story, where BBC was in the URL, and also I searched for this. So I can see here elements of my history, and bookmarks are also shown. And this bar adapts over time, so that if I go back to certain websites frequently, I've only got to type in a couple of keywords, or maybe just a few characters at the bar here, and it will give me a good estimate of the website that I'm going to if I've been there before, so I can jump there very quickly. Contrast this with Internet Explorer. I'm going to click through to the news story, open up the tab, type in BBC, and all it knows about is the BBC News front page. It doesn't know that this story here was about the Olympics on the BBC News website, or that I searched before either. So we know that Firefox is open source, it's updated more frequently than IE, and its user interface is probably more helpful.